All right, this is the Chimera Station TMG live Q&A session. We are going live. Theoretically, we will have viewers come on, but until then, we will just kind of discuss the game, and we'll handle the questions as they come in. I have my main man, Ron, and what is your weird job title with TMG, Ron?
So my job title now is logistics and production management.
Boy, is that boring. And what is your job title with team?
Sorry, say that one more time. So my job title now is logistics and.
Wow, who's got their speaker going? Ron.
Oh, it's not me. I paused it.
I paused mine too.
Say it one more time. So my job title now is logistics.
Somebody's got it going on. Wow, who's got their speaker? There it goes. Now it's gone. Okay. All right. So no, you didn't get. I got official Viking pillager when I got hired. So.
Oh. Nice. Well, what's the official Viking pillager?
I don't know. That's just my job title. That's what my contract actually said.
Oh, okay.
We're on there. Hey, Barbara joined us. Barbara, we can ask, and Barbara can answer questions as well. Barbara is a part of the TMG family, and she better actually talk pretty soon. No, maybe. Well, if she wants to talk, yeah, we can hear you just fine. Thank you, Barbara.
Oh, okay.
and we have the man, the legend, Jeremy Salinas, the Dragon Strike of Man vs. Meeple, who was kind enough to do a fantastic video for us, and he has played the game several times. And so he is available for any questions as far as the gameplay goes, and also just to talk about Chimera Station in general. So, Chimera Station is what are we at right now? I haven't looked at the Kickstarter. $44,395, and so we are fast approaching the 60K funding. I believe we'll probably hit it tomorrow. I mean, that'd be my guess anyway.
I would assume so, yeah.
And so, I don't know. I mean, we've all played it, right? Barbara, I don't know. Barbara, have you played it?
I actually haven't, but I set up the demo versions for people, or at least one of them.
Excellent. You've read the rules and everything, though, so you're pretty familiar with the game at this point, yes?
No, I really was just trying to listen. Not actually be part. I'm sorry.
No. I'm glad you're part though. So if maybe people have other generic questions about TMG that we can answer as well. So, all right. Well, very good. Jeremy. Okay. So if you haven't watched Jeremy's video on the Man vs. Meeple YouTube channel, and if they wanted to find the Man vs. Meeple YouTube channel, where would they go? Jeremy. I think Jeremy might be disconnected. Either that or he is like rock solid in his in his expression right now. I'm impressed.
I don't know.
No, there you go. Well, all right. So when he comes back, because I'm going to ask him to talk about the game and what he likes. But anyway, so the big thing that people are questioning and that people are wondering about is the stretch goals. Once we are funded, what we're going to do as far as the stretch goals and what we're going to be adding to the package. Now, obviously, we've talked about the on the website for the Kickstarter page. We are talking about the metal coins, and one of the many stretch goals that kind of got hinted at and in a few reviewer videos because they got that information was the B side to the alien races. And so that's Aaron, you're my logistics guy, so you're gonna have to correct me if I'm wrong here, okay?
Okay.
So that's the first one, right? That we're going with.
Yeah, that's the first one because that applies both towards the deluxe and retail version.
All right, so that is true then. That whether you get the deluxe with the deluxeification box or the normal, you'll still get the other side on the cards, and that's the special powers that the aliens have. That makes them distinct. So, like, the brain guys will actually have, like, brain power. They won't be, like, a generic alien race. So, And that is, I believe that's after we fund. That one is at $70K, I believe. The one after that is our first only for just deluxeification copies. And what is that, Aaron?
That. Hold on. Do you know the answer to this?
I know. I thought you're the
next
logistics
one?
guy, so I was asking you.
Well, this is more development side than really.
Oh, so you're already
so,
making excuses, right?
Hey, that's what I do. So, it looks like I'm new to this as far as
I'll answer
got like
that.
a maintenance crew, a mini expansion.
It's the no. You're
No.
incorrect. And thanks for giving away the later one.
Oh,
So
Jeez,
well.
Aaron.
no, that is going to be we're going to replace in the deluxe copies. We're replacing the cardboard food tokens with some super cool looking like wooden bits. And I apologize. This is I'm sharing on this on my screen. So, and that's going to be like, this will be like what you're going to see when we announce these stretch goals, and you can see those. But that'll be the cool little silk screened little. I called it when we played it. We called it the Soylent Green hamburger, and I guess that's what that's what it looked like to me. It was like a little like Soylent Green hamburger, just because Soylent Green is people. But hey, Seth, nice to have you on there, bud. Hey, look, we can see Barb.
Sorry, I'm reclined and the light in the background sucks, so that's why
it gives you a nice angelic glow. It looks it's very cute. Jeremy, are you back with us now?
I think so. I don't know. My connection's kind of going in and out.
Somebody watching a lot of Netflix
Can
in
you
your
guys
house
hear me now?
and music? Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good.
All right. So Seth, you're here. So now I'm gonna bug you with some questions because I am, Andy's listening in and he said it's food tokens. He's yelling at you, Aaron. All right, Seth. So
yeah, he's totally yelling in all lowercase.
Mm-hmm.
No exclamation mark. Yeah.
Yeah. That's no underscore, no italicized, no.
Uh-huh.
So Seth, you were in charge of a great deal of the development on the game. So, if you could, just in like kind of a short little explanation, how much did the game change? I mean, because Chimera Station was owned we had the rights to it long before I joined the company. So, and I know you've been working on it for quite a while. So why don't you just kind of take us through a little bit of the history of the game and where it and how it progressed to this point.
Yeah. So originally I played Chimera Station about 2 years ago. Are you guys hearing an echo?
No, just you.
So I played it about 2 years ago at actually it was at Rincon. Which is a convention I host here in Tucson. Designer Mark Major and his wife Christina came down from California, and I played it, and I enjoyed it, and they submitted it, and they actually left it here, their prototype here with me. I had it long enough to play it with a couple of friends of mine, and then my prototype bag got stolen, unfortunately, but we'd already decided that we liked it enough that we wanted to sign the game. So that minor setback aside, so your question is how much did it change from that point?
Well, I mean, you don't have to do that. I mean, just kind of give us an overview of like what did you have when you first played it, and how is it different now?
Right. So in some ways it's changed kind of a lot, and in some ways it's changed not at all. So mostly the development that's happened is to kind of emphasize the things that the game was doing or was trying to do in the first place. So a lot of details are different, but structurally, the game is mostly the same. The first thing that we do is basically the board. You've seen the board in the videos where there's a build bonus. Whenever you build a module, you get to, depending on where you place it, you get a bonus. That didn't exist at all in the original version, and there wasn't. I didn't like how there wasn't a good reason to pick one spot over another to build it. It's like you're building a module and you just kind of put it on the board. There was a little bit of the modules are sort of color coded and there was some sort of adjacency type of thing, but it was not as strong as I wanted it to be, and I wanted to care more where I put this module. So that kind of grew into these bonuses, and I think they're really neat because the bonuses, the early buildings, the bonuses aren't very big, but as you build out towards the exterior, they get more and more powerful, and so that does two things. One, it keeps in line with a lot of things in this game circle around where like something you do opens up an opportunity for another player. If you build a module, then someone else can go there. Or if you build modules, it drains the reactor, and someone else can get a big benefit for refilling it. If you build a module, it reaches out to a bigger bonus for the next person that builds a module. That kind of thing happens a lot in this game, and so I really like how those build bonuses turned out. And from game to game, sometimes you can kind of see where in one game you might build up towards the money corner where everyone's got lots of money and there's a lot of stuff going on. Whereas in some other game, if people start building like down and right to get to that research or something, the space station kind of shapes differently, which kind of matters in what bonuses are available. Sometimes there's enough building that happens that a lot of those spaces get covered, but when it really shines is in the games where there's not as much building, and you can kind of really tell the difference between people having built out one direction over another for that reason. So that I felt like was a really fun thing to add to the game, because now I care a lot more where I put a module when I build it.
Yeah, it's a good addition.
That was the first main thing that changed. One thing that changed kind of later was, speaking of the modules, they all used to be pretty much the same cost, same points. There were two level. There was a 3 cost and a 4 cost, and then there was one odd one that was the giant statue or whatever it's called that was worth extra. But one thing I thought would be more interesting is to give more of a variety of costs and VP rewards, and so this kind of came sideways because I was playing and I was running out of modules, and I thought we need some more. So instead of just duplicating some or whatever, I kind of sat down and made some more, and I thought it'd be really interesting. Sometimes if you just don't have enough money, you can't build, and that's fine. But I thought it'd be neat if sometimes if you only had 2 money, you could go ahead and still build. So I made some that cost 2, some that cost 3, some that cost 4, and I kind of made a lot more variety in the costs and value. And it was kind of interesting trying to figure out like which ones should be worth more or which ones should cost more, that kind of thing. Something that's always been a big part of the game is the command hub, where you get to take credit for everyone else's work and get a bunch of points for where other people have placed. And this ties back into what I said a minute ago. When I go to a powerful action, it's probably worth several points, which means it's opening up scoring for whoever goes to the command hub. So that went into the design of the modules. Anything that's a really powerful action should be worth more points, because if I use it, it opens up someone else's scoring. But that means it has to cost more as well. So that's how that kind of came to be. So the stuff that's big and different are the place for the bonus, the build bonuses, the costs and variety of the buildings, a few rules surrounding the building, just trying to make it more user-friendly, I guess. And also that boiler room, when you refill the reactor and you get your big rewards for having emptied it. It used to be more, so you get some rewards based on what pieces you have on your worker when you go there. So if you go there with a claw worker, you get some money. If you go there with a plant worker, you get some food. And that was always the case. But it used to be more like a chart. Like depending on how, the more empty the reactor is, the more stuff you get. The more pieces you have on your worker, the more stuff you get. The problem was when you had a naked worker, like an unupgraded worker, you got nothing. And too often it seemed to be the case that I would have to face the choice of refilling the reactor with my naked guy and getting nothing, feeling like I'm wasting my turn, or letting the next player score some huge bonus because he's got a double upgraded worker that he can send to this empty reactor. And I didn't like how that was so all or nothing. It was kind of disappointing whenever you're the player who someone passes the buck to you and you have to take one for the team or else let this next player get a huge bonus. So I sort of reevaluated that, and I in an effort to keep the I think you still get more stuff the more drained the reactor is, and you still get more stuff the more pieces you have on your worker, but it's a little more even keel. Like if I have a single upgraded worker, I can get reasonable rewards and stop your double upgraded worker from scoring a lot. it doesn't feel as much like you're taking one for the team. Those are some of the big ones that I can think of. I don't know if I can remember that, other than just some tweaking and balancing of the perks. I'm not sure there's a whole lot of extra stuff. Have we talked about the B-sides of the player boards yet, that first stretch goal?
Well, we mentioned the first stretch goal, but why don't you, that's basically the ones that make the brain guys actually use their brains and so on and so forth. And
so that's the other major thing that I added, and this was added actually towards the end. For a long time when we played the game, it was just the A sides of the player boards. Everyone had the same abilities. You're different because, if I have claws and brains and you have plants and tentacles, our situation is going to be different. Our player profiles are going to be kind of unique. But at the beginning, we all start out the same. And that's cool. And I generally like that in games. But a lot of things that our fans seem to really appreciate and enjoy, and a lot of players seem to like, is asymmetric starts or player powers. So we looked into adding some of that. And we ended up creating the B-side of the player boards. And this kind of happened pretty rapidly, but it got extensively play tested in quick succession at the end there, where we messed with each player getting a power, and they're kind of themed. Like there's the Brainiacs, so they like having brains, and they have a better tech track, or a different, I guess, tech track than other ones, other players. And they also have, if they have a double brain worker, it's a benefit compared to other characters. Whereas the eco-friendlies are kind of the food one, and they produce more food. They can spend food like it's money, and stuff like that. And so on the we kind of made 4 really more unique or different player boards with different benefits. And one thing I was worried about was whether this was going to shoehorn somebody into playing like, oh, I've got the eco-friendlies, I absolutely have to go all food all the time. Well, you get multiple workers, and multiple workers can be upgraded. So while you might want to go heavily into leaves, because maybe that'll, produce food for you and you won't need to get money as much, you're not going to go completely into leaves. You're still going to want claws to bump people. You're still going to want tentacles and things like that. It just kind of gives you a head start in that direction, and maybe you prefer that particular type of component. Similarly, the claws, they have some abilities that help with claws, so maybe they want some claws, but they don't want just claws. So it turned out pretty nicely that you're not shoehorned into a particular strategy just because you have a particular player board, but it does kind of give you a boost in that direction. And because it gave you a boost in that direction, I didn't want people to think that, oh, I better just go, I've got the toughies, I better go get a claw first. So we ended up just giving each of the factions one of that type of component, like, to start. Attached to their worker already. So you start with a claw worker or a brain worker, depending on which faction you are. And in order to make it really obvious what's different, like if you learn the game on the A sides and then you're like, oh, I've turned the board over, now I'm playing the B side, what's different? We've highlighted all of the differences on the back of the board, so it's really easy to see, oh, this is non-standard. I can remember it. I can very easily see what's different on my board. Which I think will be a helpful feature for the players. Jeremy, when you played, did you find that to be helpful? Did you notice the highlights?
On the B side?
Yeah, on the B sides, like anything that was different from the A side was kind of highlighted.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty easy to tell. I'm a huge player that enjoys variable power, so I think that's. I know that you said in the early design stages that wasn't something you had focused on, but I think it's almost a necessity now in most games. I mean, most of your larger games out there that have a lot of sell-through have that variable player power right at the start of the game that kind of puts a person down a path. But you're right. I mean, every time we played the game, I played the eco-friendlies on the B side. I played the toughies on the B side, and I did not feel like I was locked into those positions at all. They're a great boost, though. I mean, they allow you, especially for the eco-friendlies, ignoring the money aspect of the game and being able to funnel your food into money is great, and then just starting with that component. So it allows you the flexibility to do multiple things at the start, but it doesn't shoehorn you in, like you said, into one specific strategy and have to carry that all the way through.
Yeah, that's what I was going for, so that's good.
Okay, well, so that's the first stretch goal, and so I mean, we wanted this to be kind of a quick one and a quick hitter. So, obviously, if people have questions, they can type them into the old chat box there, and we'll try to answer this to the best of my ability. But just to kind of wrap this up, let's just kind of go over quickly the stretch goals because people that this has been kind of something that people have asked us for, and we will be updating. I believe it's tomorrow, right? Aaron?
Yeah.
So this information will also be updated on the website tomorrow, and so you'll be able to see it there. But the first stretch goal is going to be those B-sides, which we just talked about. The second stretch goal will be the silk-screened food tokens, or as I call them, the Soylent Green tokens. They if people know our Yokohama, where we talked about the silk screening of the different like items, the different, like the fish. No, we did the silk, and what else did we do? The
silk.
Oh, the import boxes, I think.
The import boxes and the silk. That's right. We're silk screened. The silk screened silk. Say that 5 times fast. No. So it's same thing. A wooden token, but it'll be silk screened with the same thing that's on the cardboard token. And then let's see if Andy's still listening. And Andy, what's the other one? What's the other one we're going to announce? But this by no means are going to be the only ones. But this is the other one we're going to announce tomorrow. See if Andy's still listening. If he's typing or not. Nope, I don't think he's listening. All right, well then the last one. Does anybody else know? I know what it is.
I know what it is.
Oh, okay, Seth. Well then you lay it on us, Seth.
I believe the next one that you were talking about is the mini expansion.
Yes, and that will just be for deluxe as well. And take us through the mini expansion. What's going to be in that?
Well, so yeah, as you said, it's going to be included in the deluxe editions. I don't know that it'll be never had again. The mini expansion might turn into something that we could use promotionally or sell later, but it'll be included in the deluxe editions and not in the retail editions. And what it is, it's a maintenance crew. Now, this was something that was originally in the game, and I actually kind of cut it out because, generally speaking, new players weren't getting the benefit of it, and it was a lot of extra rules overhead, and it wasn't great for new players because they would spend a lot of time thinking about something they couldn't really, without knowing the game really well, they wouldn't know what to think about. But it's really kind of good, and maybe you'd argue it's super necessary. I don't think it's definitely a neat addition for an experienced player because what the maintenance crew does is it shuts down certain locations on the board, and you get to pick which. If you're the start player, you get to pick which spot or spots, depending on how late in the game it is, get shut down for maintenance, which means nobody can go there. So what happens is there's after rounds 3 and after rounds 2 and after round 4. So when the game has this little bookkeeping step, you get to start placing 1 and then 2 maintenance crew tokens on the board to block up spaces if you're the start player. So there's an added reason to get the start player if you want to make sure that either A, your favorite spot doesn't get blocked, or B, if you really want to block somebody else's spot that's good for them and bad for you. And then, of course, to go with these maintenance crew pieces, there's a module that lets you deal with, interact with the maintenance crew, like move them around or activate the spots where they are. There's a perk that has to do with the maintenance crew as well, like whenever you command modules, you can count the spots where the maintenance crew are. So there's there's a module or 2 and a card, and then the 2 actual maintenance crew tokens that are in this little mini expansion. So far, there might be a little bit more added to that expansion as we go.
Ooh, look at you being all mysterious.
Ooh.
So,
and Jeremy, I don't think you played with those because I don't think we gave you rules for them.
Those weren't the ones with the lightning tiles, were they?
The couple tiles that have a lightning bolt are that, and also some other stuff that might end up in there. Cool. But the maintenance crew itself, I don't think we even gave you the maintenance crew tokens or any rules for it.
I've seen reference to them on a perk card that was included in there, but we didn't know what it was for.
Right.
Now,
not even the reviewer knows. Ooh.
Can you enlighten us what those maintenance crews can and can't block? Can they block perks with modules on them? Can they block?
They can only block buildable modules. So
Okay.
tiles that got added to the board. You can't block the constructor. You can't block the splicing lab or whatever.
Okay.
You can only block the buildable modules.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not it'd be a little crazy if you could block like the command hub or something.
Sure.
All right, well, very cool. So Jeremy, is it still like one of the better worker placement games you ever played, in your opinion?
Absolutely, I love it. I love it. I mean, there's nothing like it. There's nothing. I mean, we racked our brain trying to figure out a worker placement game that has evolving workers. I mean, do you guys know of any? I don't.
I've played other worker placement games that have different kinds of workers.
Well, yeah, of course, but not ones that evolve over time, that change.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't think of it. Yeah, I was trying to think of one too, and I mean, there might be one out there that's just really archaic and whatever, but I don't know of one offhand. I couldn't think of one either, and
I might be able to think of one where your workers get better over time steadily or something, like isn't it Praetor or something like that, where their dice are your workers and they increment, but I can't think of any other ones that let you customize during the course of the game. Like, I want this worker to be better at this, so I'm going to customize.
Did Praetor actually, did they improve over time, or did you just get bigger workers later in the game?
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I haven't played Praetor in quite a while.
But that's the feature that drew me to this game in the first place. Was the I hadn't seen a game either that I couldn't think of one anyway, where you got to customize your workers just the way you want them in order to do different things. So that's the hook, right? That's the neat thing about this game. Beyond that, I mean, it's a decent but relatively straightforward worker placement game. If you couldn't customize your workers, I'm not sure how it would be a solid game, but it wouldn't be outstanding in my mind. But the fact that you can customize your workers is the draw for me.
I also, and I don't know why this is, but I always like the spot on the board that you go and put your worker on, that you get to take your worker back at the end of the round and place it in a spot that's still available. So it kind of, and the fact that you have that in the splicing chamber, it just adds a lot to it. So it's like, because that would actually, that was actually, in my mind, fairly ingenious, because it's like, okay, yeah, I can modify my worker, but then, I can't do anything with them, but no, you can still do something with them, but you get to mess them a little bit. And if you splice in, claws, then you can just pretty much take any spot you want. So, which was a strategy that I used more than a few times in the games that I played. So
yeah, it's that's definitely inspired by or modeled after the Lords of Waterdeep Harbor, which I really enjoy that in that game too. When I play, we frequently visit Waterdeep Harbor to get cards or play cards, and then get to replace our guys later. I like that dynamic in the game. So
it's unfortunate that you mentioned Lords of Waterdeep, because I don't like that game.
Well, it's unfortunate you don't like that game, because it's pretty good.
All right. Well, there you go. Now, if you watch this after the fact and you have questions, we will do my weekly show. The Alaboom is tonight, and so I think, Seth, you're gonna show up for that after Frisbee.
Yep, I'll be kind of late, but I'll be there.
All right.
If you're still going.
Yeah, so if we're still going, so Seth might be available for questions, and of course I can answer your questions as well. For those of you who took the time to watch us doing this live, I really appreciate it. For those of you watching it after the fact, I really appreciate it. And then, does anybody else have any parting comments? Anything they want to say?
Just wanted to say thanks to Dan Casey for asking a question in the chat. I think he's the only. Oh, somebody else said that's the spirit, but that's not a question. Yeah, nobody else has any questions, so.
Okay, very cool.
And now Dan says boo to them about the other people. Huh.
No. And then, Aaron, I don't know what. Are you playing World of Warcraft 3 back there? Is that your fiance playing World of Warcraft 3, or what is that?
No, she's playing Heroes of the Storm, actually.
Heroes of the what?
Heroes of the Storm.
Never heard of it.
The Blizzard MOBA.
And apparently you're building models over something over there on your table.
It's my War Machine stuff.
Oh, okay. And is that a giant bottle of aspirin there?
It's multivitamins, I think.
I don't know.
It's my drug station.
As long as very nice.
Not TMG sponsored. No.
Ah. All right. All right. Well, everybody, you have a good evening. Seth, I'll talk to you later tonight. Jeremy, I'll probably see you later tonight, right?
Yeah, I'll be on.
All right, Aaron. It's good to see you, man.
Yeah. See ya.
See you guys.
Talk to you later, guys.
If I could close this out.